Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City is a movie that released on November 24th of 2021. This live-action reboot was a far cry from what the previous live-action series gave us, and both its tone, characters, and narrative took heavy inspiration from the actual games. This movie released to very mixed reception, not doing so well critically, but a large pool of fans, myself included, really enjoyed this film. I have a video on my channel that serves as sort of a spoiler-free review of the movie, but all you really need to know is I liked a lot of what it kept and changed from the games, and its main goal was to respect its source material while also providing a unique twist in a story we've known for years. And I think it succeeded on that front. So, it got me thinking, what if we were to have another one? What if this new continuity was further explored in a multitude of sequels like the former Paul W. Anderson flicks? I got so infatuated with this topic, I decided it would make for a pretty good video discussion since there is a decent possibility we could very well see a continuation. So without further ado, let's begin. So the main question that's on a lot of our minds is what are the odds of a sequel happening? Well, the largest reason that supports the idea of us seeing another RE movie under Johannes Roberts' vision is the eagerness of both him and the cast and crew. Johannes, on record, has stated he would be completely down to direct the sequel, and both the actors of Chris and Leon have expressed interest in reprising their roles. Robbie Amell, the dude who plays Chris, specifically mentioned a sequel based on the RE game Code Veronica as being really cool. That's my man Robbie. And Ivan Jogia, I hope I pronounced that correctly, the dude who plays Leon, even said himself that even though he's just happy Welcome to Raccoon City got made in the first place, there's a lot of material Sony can pull from in upcoming movies. Not only that, but it genuinely seems like these guys had a pretty fun time making this movie, and I personally loved each of their performances. The second largest reason is how much this movie sets up. Despite being a complete story that has a simple beginning, middle, and end, fans of the series will see things like the Alex and Alexia Ashford reveal or the post-credit scene and instantly know what the director was hinting at. Like Ivan said, there is a ridiculously large amount of material left to cover, and Welcome to Raccoon City very well sets up for a sequel. So if the director wants to do a sequel and the story clearly sets up for one, what's the problem? Well, you all forget that in the world we live in, everything comes down to money. The movie grossed $38 million worldwide with a budget of $25 million, so it was definitely no failure, but you also have to keep in mind this movie also had a heavy marketing campaign, which definitely cost a lot. So it's unclear whether Sony has actually made a profit or not, but there is one important factor to keep in mind. Video sales. Welcome to Raccoon City will be available on DVD and streaming. People like me, who didn't want to risk COVID, opted to stay at home instead of watching this film in theaters, so it's very possible it could do pretty well when it comes to video sales. Personally, I think it was ridiculous in the first place to have this movie debut exclusively in theaters. I don't know how things look in Japan, but over here in America, half the population thinks the vaccine was manufactured by Umbrella and refuses to get it, so the virus is still running rampant. Let's hope people who missed this movie in theaters will buy or rent it to boost the movie's success. I know I will since I loved it that much. Personally, if you ask me the question of whether we'll see a sequel, I'd say it's more likely than it is unlikely. Not only does the movie and everyone a part of it want a sequel, but I genuinely think the profits it generated is at least enough to let Sony know people are interested, and DVD sales might convince them further. Not only that, but Sony and Capcom have a pretty close business relationship, so I don't see them outright abandoning this reboot universe because people made angry videos on YouTube and it wasn't No Way Home levels of success monetary wise. But that's just me. But then that leads me to the next question. What the hell should it be about? Well, like I've said a million times already in this video, I think there are an insane amount of possibilities. However, the two most likely are easily a Code Veronica adaptation or a Resident Evil 4 adaptation. Code Veronica is a very likely option because the movie literally sets up Alex and Alexia Ashford, and my boy Robbie has mentioned it as a game he'd be up to do since it is a story that mainly centers around Claire and Chris. And if we're going off of continuity, there's no way Resident Evil 3 can happen since Raccoon City is destroyed, and Jill was already one of the main stars of Welcome to Raccoon City. And no, that wasn't meant to be a Stars pun. So naturally, the next game in line is Resident Evil Code Veronica timeline-wise. Now, they could surprise everyone with a live-action adaptation of the Outbreak games, but I just don't see that happening, I'm sorry. And Resident Evil 4 is a huge possibility because everyone and their grandma has played RE4. It is arguably the most popular game in the franchise's long history, and it is the next mainline Resident Evil game in order, and it will definitely be highly profitable for Sony. Hell, I think more people care about this remote rural area in Spain filled with Los Illuminados more than Raccoon City itself. And plus, Ada was teased at the end of Welcome to Raccoon City, but she's not actually in Code Veronica. She is, however, a major part in Resident Evil 4. If I had it my way, I prefer a Code Veronica-based sequel. Code Veronica is one of the best RE stories I've personally ever experienced, and since Chris and Claire were major parts of the first movie, having the sequel continue their relationship while also showing us a Wesker who's undergone his transformation and is now more closer to the games would be awesome. And I think, if given the choice, the director would go for Code Veronica as well. However, if there's any studio meddling, you bet your ass we're going to see an RE4 movie. This would take the internet by storm, and Sony knows adapting such a fan-favorite game would attract a lot of people. Plus, it could also heavily promote RE4 Remake. RE4 Remake is still very early in development, and if a sequel were to get started right now, I could see them both releasing around the same time frame. I wouldn't be completely opposed to an RE4 movie since Welcome to Raccoon City was very clearly setting Leon up to be later developed in future titles, so it would make sense to continue his journey. I just prefer it to be Code Veronica since not only do I think it's more appropriate as a direct sequel, but RE4's story, well, I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not saying no to a live-action RE4 adaptation because that would be awesome, but I'd like to see that as a third movie. Well, that's even if we get a second one, which I really hope is the case. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got when it comes to the discussion regarding a continuation of Welcome to Raccoon City. I would really love to see one since I fell in love with these new versions of the characters and I'd love to see what changes and improvements we could see in later movies. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, then please like and subscribe, and as always, I will see you guys next time. Peace out.